get ready?
Yes, you get ready.
If you want the latest news in the streets, join us and tune in for the tea. Breaking news with integrity. So tell your friends and your family. It's the LovelyTi TV show, bringing you good tea and good vibes. It's the LovelyTi TV show. Be sure to share, like, and subscribe.
Hey, tea sippers, so we are back. And this time, the tea is not just hot, it is absolutely boiling. Because in the last 48 hours, this David case has taken turns that I genuinely did not see coming. So if you watched last video, you already know the background, the arrest, the tactical gear, the Hollywood Hills. But today we are talking about what happened Monday, because Monday changed everything. So let's get right into it. On Monday, the Los Angeles County District Attorney, Nathan Hochman, held a press conference and officially announced charges against David Burke.
Today, I am announcing the charges against David Anthony Burke, the musician known as David, spelled Dav4d, in connection with the brutal and horrific murder of Celeste, a 14-year-old at that time.
And tea sippers, these are not just any charges. David was charged with first-degree murder with special circumstances, continuous sexual abuse of a child under 14 years old, and mutilating human remains.
Some breaking news now. Los Angeles officials have just announced that the singer David is facing first-degree murder charges in connection to the death of 14-year-old Celeste Rivas Hernandez, whose remains were found in the trunk of David's car last year.
I need y'all to let that sink in. Not one charge, not two charges, 3. And that special circumstances piece, that is the part that makes it so serious. Those special circumstances include lying in wait, committing the crime for financial gain, and murdering a witness to a crime, which means Burke is eligible for life without parole or even the death penalty. The DA confirmed they will decide later whether to pursue capital punishment.
These charges include the most serious charges that a DA's office can bring. That is first-degree murder with special circumstances. The special circumstances being lying in wait, committing this crime for financial gain, or murdering a witness in an investigation. These special circumstances carry with it, along with the first-degree murder charge, a maximum sentence of life without the possibility of parole or the death penalty. The determination on whether or not the district attorney's office will seek the death penalty will be made at a later time.
Now here is where prosecutors laid out their theory of what happened. And it is deeply disturbing. Dia Hochman said, Burke killed Celeste, quote, when she threatened to expose his criminal conduct and devastate his musical career. So prosecutors are saying this was not random. This was calculated. The DA alleged that Burke killed Celeste in an effort to maintain his career, and that Celeste was a witness to the lewd and lascivious sexual acts allegation being levied against him. In other words, they are saying he silenced her to protect himself and his music career. That is the motive being alleged in court. And it gets even more specific. The criminal complaint alleges that between September 2023 and September 2024, Burke engaged in 3 or more acts of sexual conduct and lewd acts involving the child, and that Burke resided with or had recurring access to the victim. That means prosecutors are saying this abuse started when Celeste was only 13 years old one year, after his very first song went viral.
As the evidence will show in court, the financial gain was for Mr. Burke to maintain his very lucrative musical career that Celeste was threatening on that particular night. The third charge, in addition to lying in wait and for financial gain, is murdering a witness to an investigation. In this particular case, as the evidence will come out in court, the witness to the investigation was Celeste. And the investigation was into the lewd and lascivious sexual acts committed by Mr. Burke.
Now here's the detail that hit me the hardest. Prosecutors revealed that Celeste went to Burke's home in the Hollywood Hills on April 23, 2025, and that was the last time she was ever seen alive. Her body was not found until September, 5 months later, in that Tesla trunk. Prosecutors also allege he mutilated her remains on or about May 5, 2025, which means, according to prosecutors, those remains sat in that car for months before anyone found them.
On April 23, 2025, as been alleged by the complaint, Celeste, a 14-year-old at that time, went to Mr. Burke's house in the Hollywood Hills. She was never heard from again. On September 8, 2025, as alleged in the complaint, Miss Celeste's remains, her dismembered and decomposed remains, were found in 2 bags inside of a front trunk of a car registered to Mr. Burke.
Now let's talk about what happened in that courtroom on Monday, because I want you to picture this. David made his first court appearance just hours after being charged, wearing a black sweatshirt and light gray sweatpants, standing behind a glass partition with a stone-faced expression, and he pleaded not guilty to all charges.
Singer David pleads not guilty inside a downtown LA courtroom.
The 21-year-old facing murder charges in connection to 14-year-old Celeste Rivas Hernandez, found dismembered in his car.
David Burke did not murder Celeste Rivas Hernandez.
His defense team came right back out swinging. His attorneys, Blair Burke, Marilyn Bednarski, and Regina Peters, said they were prepared to vigorously defend David's innocence, and released a statement saying the actual evidence in this case will show that David Burke did not murder Celeste Rivas Hernandez, and he was not the cause of her death. Now, Blair Burke is not just any attorney. Her firm has previously represented Harvey Weinstein, Kanye West, and Britney Spears. So he has a very high-powered legal team in his corner.
And when David's lawyer entered the plea of not guilty, they did also add that they have evidence that they believe will show that David didn't commit the crime. He does have a hearing later this week on Thursday where we hope to learn a little bit more about the evidence that the prosecutors say they do have in their possession that they will be entering into court.
But here is one of the most chilling details that has come out in the investigation trail, and this was hiding in plain sight. In January 2024, the two appeared together in a live stream on Twitch, joking and talking into the early morning hours before David, laughing, said, "Delete everything, delete everything.
Delete everything, delete everything. Everything goes.
The meaning of that remark is now likely to be examined by prosecutors and defense lawyers alike. Delete everything, said laughing on camera months before her disappearance. That is the kind of detail that you just cannot shake. Now, I also want to take a moment because through all of this, there is a real family. Celeste's mother, father, and sister attended Monday's arraignment and had little visible reaction to the proceedings. And through their attorney, the family asked for privacy as they grieved their baby girl. The DA actually opened his press conference by addressing that directly. Hulkman said, "I'm a parent of 3 children, and a parent's nightmare is a situation where your daughter goes out one night and never comes back." And honestly, that statement right there, that is what this all comes back to. A 14-year-old girl who went out one night and never came home.
I want to look at this as a parent. I am a parent of 3 children, and a parent's nightmare is a situation where your daughter goes out one night and never comes back.
And the industry fallout is continuing to snowball. Singer Kali Uchis pulled the song collaboration Crashing from streaming services and stated that Burke is not my friend, and that the song is currently in the process of being taken down. So his entire catalog, his collaborations, his legacy, all of it is unraveling in real time. A court date has been set for Thursday, so we will be watching that closely because this case is far from over. The DA still has to decide on the death penalty question. The defense is still fighting for discovery, and there is still so much evidence that has not been made public yet. But here's what I know right now. Charges have been officially filed. He has pleaded not guilty, and this is heading to trial. The courtroom is where the truth will have to come out. And for Celeste Rivas Hernandez, who was only 14 years old, who had her whole life ahead of her, The very least she deserves is justice. Stay locked in, tea sippers, because I will be back with every update as this develops. And until then, take care of yourselves, and as always, stay safe out there.